Even folks, welcome back to The View. I've realised I forgot to put this out on Twitter tonight and Blue Sky to promote it, so there's probably not going to be many people here tonight, but that's okay. We'll have a chat anyway. When Stats is doing his little chit chat in a minute, I might put it out on Twitter then and get something up. But welcome back to the show. We're going to talk about the West Brom game coming up this weekend as we get ready for Leeds' return back to Elland Road, knowing that the task at hand got a little bit easier over the month of February. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Leeds season to date very briefly, just to put a couple of stats up on the screen. We can have a chat about what a positive scenario this actually is, although we're all afraid to say it just in case it goes wrong. And then we're going to have a chat about Angus Kinnear and Parag Marate's comments. Angus's rumor and the Parag Marate situation after we get through that. So first things first, and I'm going to let Stats fill for a little bit while I go typing on X. Stats, how are you, mate, and how's things?
Good. It's been quite incredible Monday to Monday for Leeds United Football Club, hasn't it? Starting off with the previous Monday, the late show against Sunderland with two late goals from Pascal Struijk. Fast forward to the Monday that's just gone. 1-0 down against Sheffield United. Okay, didn't play well for the first 70 minutes. The character amongst the team, they just keep going and keep going. They got the goal through a fantastic header from Junior Firpo, leapt like a salmon, just an unbelievable header, very reminiscent of Gary Speed, the late great Gary Speed, who could certainly head a ball. And then probably one of the players of the season, Ayo Tanaka, got the second to have bedlam in the Bramwell Lane end of the ground on Monday night. And then just as we're celebrating that goal, Joel Piroux hits one in from 25-30 yards out. And lo and behold, Leeds are 5 points clear at the top of the table and going into, I think it's 4 games now before the international break, starting with the Baggies, Elland Road for a lunchtime kick-off on Saturday before heading towards one of the longest trips of the season to Portsmouth, Millwall at home midweek, and they finish this period of games away at QPR. They are setting themselves up to potentially break a hell of a lot more records, to be on 75 points after 34 games is quite ridiculous. To be on plus 51 goal difference is quite unbelievable. Yes. And they probably need 5 more wins, in all honesty, that will take us to 90 points. No, 90 points didn't get us up last season, but I feel it's a bit of a weaker league this year to cement the place back in the Premier League. So, yeah, it's West Brom, Tony Mowbray's West Brom. They're very inconsistent, and I know we'll come to that a little bit. Yeah. Thank you very much. Very shortly. But yeah, it's another game. Burnley don't play in the league this weekend because they've got the FA Cup. Small matter of a trip to Deepdale in the FA Cup. I think Sheffield United are in action. I couldn't tell you where they're in action off the top of my head.
I get that feeling sick.
I'm trying to just focus on Leeds, really, and I think that's all that matters.
United are away at QPR at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
So we'll know then. Theoretically, we could be sitting 8 clear come 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And yeah, it's brilliant. The whole place is buzzing with excitement at the moment. They're in a wonderful position. They are clear of Burnley at the moment, and the goals they're scoring is they're scoring goals for fun. So, yeah, I hope that filled a couple of minutes. I tried to be a stock filler, so to speak, but yeah.
Had a chance to do some comments as well while you were doing that, so yeah, absolutely. Worked like a charm.
They
Smooth,
are
mate. Smooth. Nobody would notice if you didn't notice.
Yes, skill, that's right. You've experienced. Yeah. But yeah, they're in a phenomenal position, and it would be absolutely brilliant if they can go into that QPR game, which is the last game before the international break, potentially on 80 odd points. But I know we're getting ahead of ourselves because West Brom won't be easy. Long trip down to the south coast to face Portsmouth for the first time in the league since 2011. We owe Millwall one. They're the only team that's beaten us twice, obviously, in the League and Cup this year, before finishing off at Loftus Road. We owe them one after the disappointment of last season. But yeah, it's great at the moment. Top of the league, having a laugh. 50. You know what I mean. He's
There's
quite
that.
he's quite incredible, isn't it? I thought is it 51? I thought it was 51 the goal
We
difference.
are plus 50, plus 50,
I was it
70
plus 50,
ones
70 to
from
21. Yeah, of
Scott.
course, Sheffield United scored. It's quite ridiculous where we're at the moment, but yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And lo and behold, how long it may it continue against the Baggies on Saturday lunchtime.
Yeah, well, let's have an actual look at what this season looks like so far. And thanks to LUFC data for this. But I have to just say, I know LUFC data doesn't always watch the channel, dips in and out, but I just want to say, follow
Yeah,
on
definitely.
X because the amount of work and the format that it's put into makes us that do this our job a hell of a lot easier to talk about these things. And yeah, they do a great job. So, but Stats, do you want to talk us through this? You can even see this.
What can I say? Points won, unbelievable, top of the league. Games won. Obviously, Sheffield United would have 2 extra points, as Chris Wilder keeps on saying. 71 goals is quite ridiculous at this stage, and 21 conceded. Second, obviously, only to Burnley, who are keeping hearing about the clean sheets. Eventually, I think that's going to catch up on them because I think they're going to have
Yeah.
to go for it a bit more in the latter stage of the season. I'd say the goal difference is mental. To have plus 50 after 75 games is quite incredible. 65.7 is unexpected goals is ridiculous. The possession is phenomenal. We're creating a lot more chances. It's amazing, isn't it? That I remember early in the season, I think it was the Cardiff City game back in September. There was a lot of noise, not from Leeds United, but from supporters saying they don't like Fart. They weren't creating enough chances. It's very boring. Look at that, big chances created over the season is
Yeah.
ridiculous. And 400 and I was trying to read that 28
428.
is
Yeah.
unbelievable. The shots 679 is unbelievable. Obviously, nearly 200 shots on target first, and then you look down the list. The first in everything bar the clean sheets, of course, which is only second to Burnley. And I always maintain, come 4-6 league games, you deserve to finish where you finished. And looking at the statistics that Chris has put together, Leeds deserve to be top of the league.
Yeah.
And all being well, that's where they'll finish. And I believe, and I said this on your show back in August, I got ridiculed for it by
You
a few
did.
people. I kind of had a feeling that this team would get better, that this team would get stronger, and lo and behold, they're proving that. They've got 12 games to go, and you probably need 5-6 wins to do it. 5 wins takes you to 90 points, 6 wins takes us to 93 points, which is a joint club record. We need what? I'm trying to do the maths. We're on 75. We need 94 to break the club record, so we need 19. I'd love to get to a century of points. Never been done in Leeds United's history. I'd love to beat Reading's record of 106, but
Yeah.
those are to come in the future.
Well, if you were to look at, and it was put together after last week, if you look at the potential points that third place Burnley can make, if they are to win every single one of their remaining fixtures, they would land on 104 points.
Yes.
Leeds could potentially pass that total by Stoke.
Yes. Yeah. Which would be a little bit ironic in a way, because back in the 73-4 season, Stoke actually ended our 29 game unbeaten run in the league, so it'd be a little bit of revenge for that
Yeah.
one. And we've always had a little bit of hoo-ha with Stoke. I know we did last season when we lost 1-0 at the Bet 365. So, yeah, I've done that. I'll be honest with you, Jay. I've done it. I've looked at the permutations already. I need to borrow your satellite drone to which beach I was currently lying on. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's one game at a time. It's hard not to get too carried away, but it's literally one game at a time. The next game is the Baggies on Saturday lunchtime, and then we've got a free week on the training pitch. We'll head to Portsmouth and a tricky trip to Fratton Park. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. Won't be an easy game. Alex Mowat is coming back with West Brom. They've also got a striker called Adam Armstrong, who was a little bit of a scourge of Leeds United
He
with
is, yeah.
Southampton last season. But it's another game. It's another home game. We're unbeaten in 16 games. Longest run since 91-92. Long may it continue. I'm struggling to see whether there's any negatives. I don't think there is. I'm struggling to see where Leeds next lose a game. Look, I know last year I went into the Blackburn game thinking, yep, we're going to win that. We kind of tailed off a little bit by April last year because of the international break. What happened? Then the Watford Coventry games and Sunderland Blackburn games. But this year it just feels completely different. This year it feels there's a huge togetherness with all the players,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm excited. It's 12 games, and hopefully by the time I'm 40, yes, I am 40 on May the 2nd, the Leeds United will be a Premier League club and we can all have a party for a week.
Yeah, yeah, and it is hard. And there's been several comments on the channel this week who are trying to hold me to account and telling me to stop saying we're getting promoted. We're not there yet. I think my response today was relax and enjoy the ride, because the first
Yeah,
half of this season was tough. It was
yeah,
tough to enjoy it. The football wasn't exactly what we always wanted to see, but Farke clearly had a plan for the season, not just the first half of the season. And since the turn of the year, the football's been really, really good. The results have been phenomenal. We spent the first half of the season saying, will Leeds ever win 3 games in a row? 5 in a row now.
yeah,
So at some point, Leeds fans deserve to be able to relax and enjoy the moment, because we've never really been able to over the last couple of years. It's like biting your nails to get promoted. And then when we got promoted with Marcelo, yeah, there was a run, but nobody was in the stadiums. We couldn't really enjoy it that way. And you weren't happy for most of the season. There was only the last little bit. And then the Premier League season was great, fair enough.
yeah,
But again, no
yeah,
fans. And the next 2 seasons were desperate. And you were just worrying about relegation the whole time. And
yeah,
then last season, worrying about promotion again. And then this year, the same. So we've got a good run now. Let's try and
yeah.
enjoy this a little bit, and don't take it for granted, because other teams will try and come and upset us, and I'm sure they will. I'm sure teams will take points off us, but let's try and enjoy this for it. Just look at that list that we put up there. There's so many positives right now to talk about from a Leeds perspective, and it's nice to be able to do a podcast and not have to complain about anything.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you say. If you look back, I'm just going back in history a little bit. 2018-19, we fell away after Easter to Easter Monday, Wigan. Sorry, Good Friday, Wigan, Easter Monday, Brentford. We kind of fell away, ended up in the playoffs. The following year, 2000 and High League, pleased to meet you.
Really?
The following year, COVID, and it was kind of taken away from us. I always wonder what that moment at Swansea would have been like when Pablo scored that goal, the Liberty in the away end. 2021, no fans in the ground.
Yeah.
21-22, we stayed up on the last day of the season against Brentford, but was relegation. 22-23 was horrible. We ended up going down last day of the season against Tottenham. Last year, we just kind of fell away, so to speak, a little bit, just towards the back end of the campaign. This year's great. This year, we're clear of Burnley, we're clear of Sheffield United. We don't have to worry about Sunderland. We could be promoted in 5 games' time. We won't be, because I think Burnley have to lose 5 games, and they're not going to do that. And Leeds have to win the next 5 games theoretically. But it's I don't know if that's possible. Just putting it out there. But yeah,
that would get us 50, and 5 wins would get us to 90, which is last year's total.
Yes.
But they can do a potential of 104, so there's still 14 points floating around in there.
So that's 94. So potentially, I think the others will probably next 7 games, but I'm not worried about that. I'm taking 1 game at a time, and let's see where we are after the game against West Brom. It's literally like that. I know it's hard not to look ahead. It's hard not to get carried away. We're in a wonderful position. We are playing some lovely football. We're the most confident I've seen us all season. Yeah. The players look confident. The players are enjoying the football. And you saw that by the response against Sunderland and against Sheffield United. And let's attack this. We've got a chance here of creating a bit of history. The history is that the stats have already been done with what Daniel Farke's doing. He'll most likely get Manager of the Month. I'm guessing that'll be announced next Friday. Should he get that?
To get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I put on Twitter, should he get that it'll be the first ever Leeds manager to win 5. No, man, not even Don Revie won 5, and not even the great Howard Wilkinson won 5. So, yeah, I've been baffled on the beach with me and Cost. You want them back? I'm
coming, Chris. I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
I'm coming.
On my way.
But yeah, it's great. There's such a feel-good factor around the place. And I know, touch wood, should we go up, we've got a lot of decisions to make over the summer, and I'm absolutely certain the 49ers and Parag knows what he's doing, and the board will know what they're doing. But yeah, let's enjoy these moments, because these moments don't come around all the time.
The league top 10 average score rating on SofaScore makes very interesting reading, right? Not because it's dominated by Leeds, because it's not, but it is dominated by Leeds, but Leeds in a strange way, right? It's either Leeds players, ex-Leeds players, or players Leeds tried to buy, right?
Yes.
So you've got in 10th position. This is off their average score rating for the season from SofaScore. Trey Hume is in 10th, who Leeds tried to sign last season. We're linked to it last year. Number 9, ex-Leeds United midfielder Barry Bannon. Number 8, Leeds United defender Pascal Struijk. Number
Yes.
7, Leeds United midfielder Pascal Stroke. Number 6, Gus Hamer, who Leeds tried to sign in the
That's
summer.
what I was,
Finazaz is in 5th, and he's the outlier along with CJ Egan Riley. Then,
yes.
in 3rd place, former Leeds United on loan fullback Connor Roberts.
Oh,
Second,
crikey.
former Leeds United midfielder Alex Mowat. And
Yeah.
top Leeds United winger Daniel James.
There you go. There's full of Leeds United players,
All
apart from
Leeds,
Fernandez
in
and
some way.
CJ Egan Riley. But that just shows you how good we've done this year, and it's great. It's great. And as I said, these moments don't come along every season. The challenge is next year, should we go up, which I believe we will, and I know we'll come to that very shortly, will be very different to the challenge we've had this season. But let's enjoy these moments. Let's enjoy Maytown. Let's enjoy this summer. And let's see what the summer brings with the recruitment team, because I'm sure they'll be hard at work trying to get the right players in for the football club to improve the squad, and hopefully they're not involved in a relegation battle should they be successful winning the championship this time round.
Yeah, and by the time Burnley play another league game, Leeds could be 10 points clear of them, which puts
Yes,
pressure on them to have to chase. And as we saw last year,
yes,
when you're chasing all season, it can be very difficult, and you have
of
that
course it can.
moment where you break. And we fell off, and maybe they'll fall off. If you look at their next 5, so everyone's asking, can we see them winning 5 games? Coming up in the next 5, excluding the FA Cup, they're away to Cardiff,
Yep.
home to Luton, home to West Brom, away to Swansea, and home to Bristol City. So you could see them winning all of them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then they're away to Coventry, away to Derby, home to Norwich, away to Watford, away to Sheffield United, away to QPR, away to Millwall last day. They could
Not easy
start
games.
picking up results, but that's, they have to win everything. They have to win every game.
Yeah, yeah. And we know when the pressure's on, pressure does strange things to people. And I've said all along, there's only one team that will stop Leeds going up, and that's Leeds. And this year it'll be different, because I honestly believe that come possibly the Stoke game, potentially the Bristol City game, I certainly think it'll be done by the Plymouth game, that Leeds will be in the Premier League, and they'll probably be on the beach on the last day of the season, the Plymouth beach.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing. But
no.
As I say, Leeds are in control of their own destiny. What you want as a football club going into the last 10 games of a season is to control your own destiny, and we keep winning that. That's what we'll do. We're 7 points clear. We win the next 2, it's completely in our hands. And then we'll see where we go from there. But we're in a magnificent position. Let's enjoy it. Let's embrace it. And let's attack with venom these last 12 games of the season.
Yeah, actually, correction there. As Steve Brown has pointed out, Burnley are at home to Sheffield United. But still, both of them could have something to play for, So we'll have to see. There's pressure, and it's different. And as was said by Pierre,
yes,
Leicester were 17 points ahead, and we caught them, but then we fell away. And that's the point. When you get there, can you then keep it there? And it's such a hard job to catch up that when you do catch up, you have that moment where you take a breath, and then it's a different type of pressure. And Leeds this season has been a different pressure. We're being chased, not chasing.
Yeah.
And it's a different type of pressure and a different kind of motivation. And we've seen it with Farke. He's putting his players under more pressure now. He's talking about Tanaka scoring more goals. He's talking about Pirou scoring more goals. The week he says that Tanaka scores and Pirou scores again. So he's doing his own job differently to keep those players focused and motivated. Where last season it was, look at the result of the top 2 and better it every week. That's all you have to do. So it's different.
And it's funny you should say that, because I think the whole club has learned from last season of where they probably went wrong towards the back end of the season. And everyone's matured a year, the players have matured a year, and they look better. And it's enjoyable. It's great. It's great fun. I've got a huge smile on my face every game, and you go to Elland Road thinking, "Oh, I'm going to win this today," and that's a challenge, and it's enjoyable. It's great fun, and let's get to 78 points. Let's get to 80 points after the Portsmouth game, and then you really are in an unbelievable position. And look, as I said, I think they'll win the league, because you're asking teams to go on Champions League runs, and you're asking Leeds to have relegation form to not go up. And that's not going to happen when you're on 75 points after 34 games. You're asking Leeds to potentially win 3 out of 12. That's not going to happen. And even if they did win 3 out of 12, they're on 84 points, so it's maybe going to win the promotion anyway. So, they're in a marvellous position. Very much looking forward to it. And funnily enough, the West Bromwich Albion game on Saturday is 6 years to the day that Pablo Hernandez scored that goal at home to the Baggies after 16 seconds. Love that again on Saturday lunchtime. So there you go.
That was in Elland Road, wasn't it? I was there for that
It
game.
was, yeah.
I was at
It's
that
one I
game.
tweeted on
Yeah.
Monday night.
6 years ago.
The 6 years ago to the day, it will be on Saturday when we won 4-0.
Yeah. And Pierre's asking, Jerry, you were a player. How do you keep motivated to win when everything points to you not being there next season? In what sense? Who's not? Well, I mean, as in the squad manager and everybody else potentially being changed in the summer, which is possible.
Uh,
Unlikely, I think, for the manager, but for players, possible. A lot of it comes down to personal bragging rights. These players will be riding on a crest of a wave right now, and winning is a habit.
yes.
Those huddles after the game
Yeah.
are not forced or for effect. They're organic. That's the players getting together to keep each other motivated,
Yeah.
each other focused. Daniel Farke doesn't need to go into those huddles anymore. He can leave that to the players. They're motivating
Correct.
themselves. Now, one thing I've always said, I was lucky enough to play for a club in Dublin where I won a Leinster Senior League treble there. I've won a couple of trophies playing in Navan as well, or Meath as well. And I can tell you, there's something special about playing with a winning group of players because you have a bond, you have a connection that you will always have. Ian Hart and Stuart Dallas were in Ireland on Friday doing a Q&A for the Leeds Legends game. And Ian Hart said, we still have a WhatsApp group for the lads that played for Leeds in the Champions League. They still have their own WhatsApp group and they still talk to each other. There's a connection amongst successful players. You feed off each other's excitement and energy, and you are on a crest of a wave, and that can carry you through. It's how the test of the team is always how they react in moments of adversity. And if you've looked at Leeds over the last 2 weeks, we talked an awful lot at the start of this season about I don't care if you were the better side, you didn't win. Yeah. Find a way to win. Just find a way to win. And if you look at this last 2 games specifically, we found a way to win.
Yeah.
And we found, and the Sunderland, the Sheffield United game ends up looking comfortable at the end of it, but even though it wasn't a great performance. So when you're not playing well and still digging out a 3-1 away win that against a promotion rival, then that's a sign that these players really believe in what they're doing and really believe in each other. The confidence is there to just keep on going. So they motivate themselves. It's cyclical, I suppose. Once it gets moving, it keeps itself ticking over.
Of course it does.
As has been said by Paul. How you doing, Paul? Let's get as many points before the international break. I'm pleased the lads come back from international break. And that's the one, because that is the 2 weeks that those players won't be together. And that breaks them away from each other. And that might have a bit of an impact. And again, as Paul will know from saying that as well, I've been talking about it all season, but this is the international break that I keep an eye on. This is the one that I worry about because of last year. And I would like to see Leeds make some sensible decisions around certain players going away international duty this time, but we'll have to see. And if we're promoted, we think a goalkeeper should be the first priority signing, I would imagine. So, yeah.
I think that question is probably a whole podcast in itself, isn't it?
On its own.
Where and when would you look to strengthen? And there's a lot of questions to be answered, which I'm sure the board will do. I think there've got to be some decisions to be made. They need to be better, obviously, than last time they were in the Premier League. As we kind of just alluded to very quickly off air, the gap between the top of the Championship and the bottom of the Premier League is getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. And I want to get there first, and I want to see what the team looks like in the summer, because that'll start answering a few questions. But let's enjoy this ride first. We're on a roller coaster at the moment. We're on a really nice roller coaster at the moment as well.
Let's talk then about West Brom briefly before we get on to the Parag and Angus comments as well. We are doing a preview of West Brom, so we should probably talk about that as well. We haven't had a chance to chat properly since the weekend, so we had to talk about this. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Should also be pointed out, Leeds' final game of the season away to QPR is now a 12:30 kickoff.
Yes.
And I was convinced all league games had to be played at the same time on the final day of the season, but Sky Leeds are on a 12:30. Unless all the games have been moved.
Yeah, they've all been moved. They're all 12:30.
Okay,
yeah, they're all 12:30. Yeah, last day
nice trip for Leeds fans at 12:30 in London.
As long as it's not another Bournemouth, I think we'll be all quite happy. Yes.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Right. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Yeah. Leeds currently top of the league. Last 5 games, 5 straight wins, unbeaten in 16 now. Stats, I think it is.
Yes.
Which is a record.
I think the club record is 34. I think 68, 69 over 2 seasons. Right. So they're obviously not going to get that. And I think they went 30 odd games unbeaten at the start of the season. So they went 28 games unbeaten at the start of a campaign back in 73-4, and I think they went quite a lot of games unbeaten in 68-69 at the start of the season. So yes, we're not going to beat that record, but 17 games on Saturday, if we avoid defeat against the Bag, which I think we will do, will put us in an unbelievable position. Just keep ticking the wins over and churning out the results, and performances don't matter this stage of the season. Results do.
Points.
And you can play badly and win 2-0 and
Yeah.
get 3 points. That's all that matters. And it's another game ticked off. And if we do get the result, a positive result on Saturday, you're a Burnley fan. You're looking at it thinking, we're now playing for second. A Sheffield United fan, we're now playing for second when they go to Loftus Road on Saturday afternoon, should I say. So, yeah. Won't be easy. It's a different Leeds. It's a different animal to when we went to the Hawthorns way back in August for a game that Leeds literally played for a point, got a point, part of the bus, and job done. This time they'll be going out all for 3 points. And as I said, I want them to get 200 points this year. I really do. I've never seen a Leeds team ever get that points. To say the record that we've had is 93. But another opportunity on Saturday lunchtime to get another 3 points and get closer and closer to the Premier League.
Yeah, speaking of Michael Gott's comment on the screen right now, but just a bit of a segue to talk about another comment that Michael put up on the screen earlier on. It was about Tony Mowbray. He'll come in and he'll have a go. He's talked about it this week as well. He said that he believes that they have areas that can trouble Leeds, and that doesn't suggest to me of a manager who's going to sit back. And it should also been said, has been said in the chat, probably one of the nicest men in football right now is Tony Mowbray. He's an absolute gentleman and a cracking manager and a good coach and a very good influence on younger players as well. All good stuff.
Yeah.
But I would still like to see him go home with his backside spanked on Saturday.
Yeah. A word on Tony that he's battled through cancer, hasn't he?
He has.
And he's come back into football. He's one of the nicest guys you'll probably ever meet in the footballing world. And he did a great job at West Brom first time round. I think got them promoted in 2007, 2008, being sort of all over, being at Blackburn. I thought he was harshly treated at certain other clubs, done really well at Birmingham, a legend up at Middlesbrough up in Tyneside. Teesside, do apologise. And just one of the nicest ever guys you'll ever meet in football. And saying that, like you just said, I hope he comes back with no points in his pocket.
Yep. Nice guy. Wish you all the best, but you're going home empty-handed. Hopefully.
Yes, that's what I want. I think that's what we all want on Saturday lunchtime. Yeah.
They're not in the greatest run. They're fifth in the league, although that's good. They have moved up from seventh initially. They've got 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in their last 5. Away from home, they've only won 4 games this season. They've drawn 8 and lost 5.
Yes.
So from an away perspective, only 4 wins, and I think it's 16 away games or 17 away games. So, and we know what Leeds' home form is like. It's just 1 defeat all season, which hopefully maintains itself all the way through to the end of the season stats.
From a West Brom perspective, they're in the playoff place, which is quite remarkable with all the draws that they've had all season. It used to be about like 0-0, 1-1 and what have you. So I think they had Carlos in charge. Obviously, he left to get back home. They've taken Tony Mowbray on. I think it'll be tough for the Baggies. I really do. I think below Leeds, Sheffield United and Burnley, I think the league's much of a muchness at the moment. But I expect Leeds to go with another 3 points. They're at home, vibrant crowd, everyone's bouncing. It's a very positive environment at the moment, and I think Leeds will be too much for West Brom on Saturday lunchtime.
I agree, and I hope that is the case. I've gone for a 3-0 win personally. I think Leeds will win it comfortably. We'll get to yours at the end of this, but real brief segue just to do some merch plugging. We've a new shirt that I personally have designed as original as the number 4 is. A design I wanted to do for a while, and I spoke to Gavin at Back 4 during the week about doing this, and I had to send him over a mock-up. So it's the number 4 shirt for Leeds with the names of every player that's worn the number 4 shirt, even some players who only wore it temporarily, and some players that probably should never have worn it, but they're all on it. And that is available over on Back 4 Clothing. Now, if you look at the link in the description, if you're interested, you can buy it there. And if you don't like the number 4 shirt there, we've highlighted a couple of names in particular: Billy Bremner, Don Reevy, John Charles, David Batty, Eddie Gray, Nick Bates, Alfie Haaland, Ethan Ampadu, because he's the most recent one. So a couple highlighted. You can make your own choice whether which one should have been bold or not. Available in a hoodie and in a t-shirt. There's also other color options available in this, and sizes way up to the bigger size if you want them. If you don't like them, you can also just get the standard Leeds merch that's up there. The View hoodie that I'm wearing at the moment is available in different colors as well. There's one on its way to Stats very shortly. I keep trying to get that sorted, but it's on its way shortly. But there's also Out Tanaka t-shirts, Joe Rothwell t-shirts, lots of stuff there. And again, if you use the link in the description down below, you can get to them. So that's the plug and done, dusted, and out the door. Let's talk about the big stories of this week. So the first one is all but confirmed, although not officially by the club, but it appears that Angus Kinnear will finish up with Leeds United at the end of this season and will head across to Everton as part of their stadium reallocating to a new stadium, I should say. His experience in that, and then wanting that kind of a CEO on board. Any thoughts on Angus?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because he's been part of the club bit through a roller coaster of emotions, hasn't he? I think he joined in the summer of 2017. Started off well under Thomas Christiansen and fell away. Part of the Marcelo Bielsa era. Didn't obviously work out with Jesse Marsh, and is now part of Daniel Farke era. I think he's been through all a range of emotions with Leeds United, and he'll never get away with his famous comment, "We're not beeping around with the playoffs." So good luck to him. He's been part of the furniture for 8 seasons now, 7 seasons should I say, and he probably wants to change as well. I don't know that for a fact, but he might just want to be refreshed. He's going to a project at Bromley Docks at Everton. They've got what looks like a fantastic new stadium. It'd just be nice if Leeds' first game back in the Premier League, should the Bills away at Everton, they got 3 points, but it's probably been a mixed spell for Mr. Kinnear, hasn't it? But good luck to him. Absolutely good luck to him. He's been part of a successful side under Marcelo Bielsa, been part of a successful side under Daniel Farke, and I'm sure if he does go, he'll want to go out with a bang, with winning the promotion, winning the championship, and the championship back to the top flight.
Yeah, it seems to be the main reason why he's going to stay around until the end of the season to fix the I suppose the one black blotch on his copybook, which was relegation. Now he gets to leave as a promotion rather than relegation. And I think it's, as you said, it's probably a natural changing of the guard here. He's been here since 2017, quite a long time. A fresh challenge for him, but also from 49ers Enterprises perspective, an opportunity for them to bring in their own CEO. We've got this talk of the multi-club model potentially coming down the road. You've got potential big commercial deal that they could bring in from the US, that maybe they bring a US CEO in, because that's the job essentially of CEOs, to the commercial revenue side of Leeds and making sure Leeds are financially a viable proposition. So maybe they go down that route and bring in a CEO. It's not the most important position in the club, I'm being completely honest, from a footballing perspective. It's more important from how the club is ran behind the scenes perspective. So, but yeah, a chance for them to bring in their own people as well, as they get ready for their own version of a redevelopment of a stadium next season as well, which will bring us nicely onto Parag Marate's comments this week about Elland Road stats, and a lot of really interesting. And if he follows through with 50% of the passion he's put through on this, Leeds will be in a very positive position. But on Elland Road, he said that they're ready to make some announcements pretty soon, and I would imagine that's when promotion is confirmed. He has said that they've brought all the engineers, all the pre-development work is done. They'll start off with a first phase to bring the stadium up to 47,000, and then the second phase will bring it up to 53,000. What are your thoughts on just the Elland Road stuff that he was talking about?
Yeah, I think everyone around the football club will admit it needs an upgrade, doesn't it? I love the ground. It's got character. It's had so many memories for so many people down there. But I think to move it into the next stage, to grow the club off the pitch as well, it needs more revenue to come in to the football club, and to do that, get more support into the ground. It sounds like they're going to build behind the West Stand. This is
come on, John. Come on.
Good evening, John. He's going to build on top of or behind the West Stand, a bit like what they've done at Anfield. So yeah, I'm all for it. I think I'd rather Elland Road gets redeveloped than Leeds United move to a new ground. I know if you turn the clock back to 2001 when Peter Risdale was running us, they were looking for a new site on the M1. Whenever that was going to be ready, I don't know. Obviously, the things happened with the financial implosion, and Leeds got relegated and what have you. But it'd be great. It'd be great to see. I've never. The only building work that I can remember from Elland Road is when the Revy stand, the cop was changed from a standing stand to an all-seater stand, and
back again.
the family stand, which was reopened in 1993 for the first time. So
Cantilever.
the cantilever, absolutely. The Revy stand was opened in '94. So you think back, we've not had anything done to the stadium in over 30 years. It's 30 years last August when the Revy stand started, or the Revy stand was completed. So yeah, it's going to be great. It's great. I think it's great that all these ideas, and I'd love it to come to fruition. And I don't think anyone can wait to see what the newer version of Elland Road needs to look like. And the board know that. The board know that the ground need to be expanded to get more revenue and to get more commercialisation in, to get more money into the football club. So it all has a knock-on effect, and hopefully that we are a Premier League club, and the money's there to help not only with the squad but to help with the ground as well. And yeah, I think it's needed. It's not had anything done to, as I say, for 30 odd years, and it'll be great to see when it's it might take 2 to 3 seasons for it to be redeveloped. But yeah, very much looking forward to seeing what it does look like once the redevelopment plans are up and running and when it's shared. And yeah, it's exciting. The whole place is a buzz at the moment, and the whole ground is excited. And bring it on, bring on the baggage, bring on the next 12 games, bring on 36 points, and bring on 100 points all
next season.
Yeah, and bring on next season, which, as I say, is a discussion in itself.
Yeah, if you want the full version of the stories today from Parag Marathe, you can check out today's news video. In that, I've pretty much given you the full transcript of everything that has been said. You'll be sick halfway through that video of listening to me say, and they said the following, and then me reading what they said. But there's a lot of positive things. I will get through some starred comments that just came in from some people just to wrap through. PBDS says, Jared Andrew, we know Leeds will get one or of the top 2 positions. Who do you think gets the other one?
Burnley. I think they'll bore everybody to death. I don't think they'll concede many goals, and I think Sheffield United will probably slip into the playoffs. I think the key game is Easter Monday, as you rightly say, when Burnley play Sheffield United at Turf Moor, and I think the winner of that will then go on to be a Premier League club next season.
Yeah, I think it'll be Sheffield United. I think they've enough. I think they've enough, especially with the new players they brought in. They didn't shine against Leeds, but I think against everybody else, they will. Andy says the Glazers have bled Man United dry. Could the 49ers do the same eventually to Leeds? It would appear that the model from the 49ers is to build Leeds up into being a pretty big side, get this multi-club model. And any organization that has a multi-club model isn't bleeding the clubs. They're actually doing the opposite. They're trying to get the clubs to be a massive organizations. 49ers Enterprises have a money bag in their own team in the States. They don't need to bleed Leeds for any money. They're incredibly rich people. Ian Hart, again, last night on the podcast, when I interviewed Ian last night, you check that out if you want to. There's an interesting line from Ian, and he said something similar when he was at the Q&A, because Ian's an agent now, and he has players on Leeds books. Marley Wilson and Conor Ferguson are 2 players that he represents at Leeds right now. And he said, and his exact words were, 49ers have deep pockets, so they don't need to be taking money out of Leeds to do anything. And if they ever get to that point, I would imagine that's the point where they look to sell once they've made their money and they have their investment locked down. Then they sell the club on for $1 billion or whatever they want to get for it, and then someone else buys it if they can. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it in the short term, Andy, because we're not making any money right now. The club's not profitable, so it's not worth talking about until we get to the stage really they're an established Premier League level club, and there's a long road to go before we get to that stage. So, but to be fair, sorry, Andy, I don't want to diminish your comment. It's a valid concern given what we've witnessed in the Premier League. So, yeah, just to say that. Michael Gott said, who was the 49ers Enterprises guy that helped build Levi's Stadium? Maybe he's lined up for the CEO. I can't remember his name.
No, neither can
but I think he's already involved.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I think he's already at the club.
And if he is at the club, he'll have the experience to know what to do with the ground, which they've all got. These are businessmen. They know what they're doing with this football club. Yeah. And yeah, it's exciting times. It's very exciting times. First stage, get to the Premier League, then look at the ground development, and then go from there and build the squad to hopefully maintain themselves in the Premier League this time next season.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this as well is if you haven't seen any of Levi's Stadium, the Daily Mail did a piece on Levi's Stadium. I think a YouTuber did it as well, where he was invited over to do a tour of the ground. He videoed it. Levi Stadium is an incredible operation. They've actually got a control center in the stadium for managing the traffic flow around the ground.
Oh, that's amazing.
Some of the stuff is fantastic they've got there. So check it out. And the interesting piece about it as well is from his initial earlier comments 6, 7, 8 months ago from Parag, he said that they were bringing some of the people that built Levi Stadium to England to rebuild Elland Road or to redevelop Elland Road. So they're going to lean on that experience. They've got some local architects and some sound engineers and all involved in this as well. But Prague has talked again today or yesterday about the need to maintain the cauldron-like hurricane of noise that Elland Road has been described at, and he wants to get more fans in and to continue to make Elland Road a club that players and coaches hate playing at. So all positive stuff. Then the last start comment to give you the Red Bull stuff because it's important. Do you think that Leeds transfer model may get watered down due to give some to Rangers? They can't do that.
No, they can't.
Can't just give money, and there's rules in place in Scotland that stop that from happening as well. If you listen to Prague's comments today, I'll get the exact comments for you. But basically, he said that around the Rangers thing that if they were looking at another club, they would be ran independently from each other. I can get the exact comment. That's Elland Road. That's Elland Road. Quality empty noise while Jerry reads through his notes. Yeah, he said unfinished business in the Premier League, PSR stuff. They want to do that. Talk about Red Bull Sports, brought in partners, and then here we go. Right. He said he can't comment on the rumors about Rangers, but they are looking at other clubs and they're looking for clubs with potential for growth. He then also said, we always have our eyes and ears open for a new look for opportunities. Leeds United stands alone.
Yes.
And if we purchase a second club, they will also stand alone.
Yeah.
So if they are going to do a multi-club model, the plan is that they can lean on each other from sporting perspective, but that they would stand alone outside of that. And if you look at the conversation around who's buying Rangers, the 49ers are not the main participants in this. They are the minority that are going in here. There is a American pharma company who had the lead company who are trying to buy Rangers, and Leeds 49ers, I should say, are helping out with that because they've got experience in it, but they'll be very much a minority stake in the club as well. So not again, Mark, not anything I would worry about right now. And again, if you look at the multi-club model, Manchester City's City Group, pretty much every single team in that club is either winning trophies or competing at the highest level for trophies. If you look at the Red Bull model, whether you like Red Bull or not, their club model is very successful. All of their teams compete at the upper end of all of the divisions that they're in. They're looking to create something similar. And that's why Greta Steinson got the promotion that moves him into a head of football operations for their global football operations. So there's all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no problem, Mark. Anytime. The advantage of reading the news every day is I get to talk about this stuff so much that sticks in the back of my head, and I remember we're talking about it then.
You certainly do.
Yeah. Guy says, I think before spending money on stadium, we need to stabilize the Premiership, the team in Premier League. Interesting stat on that. Development of the stadium doesn't affect PSR.
Correct.
So there's money separate. They can put their own personal money into developing the stadium that they can't put into the team, and then they can use the revenue from the club to put the money in and make the team strong that way. So they kind of work as two different levers. So yeah, it's really interesting. Rudy Klein-Thomas is the vice chairman, I believe, of Leeds United, or was the vice chairman.
That's him.
Yeah. Good job. I think he actually stepped back a bit from his position. I think he picked a different position at the club.
I think you might be right.
He's still involved with Leeds. Yeah. But again, they have a lot of experience there. Right, Ampadu out for season. So not confirmed. Farkas said 4 to 6 weeks potentially.
Yeah.
Because they don't want surgery, because surgery means he's out for the season.
Yeah.
If they can manage it without the surgery, then he might be back in 4 to 6 weeks, but they haven't ruled out the fact that he might need surgery. Pat Bamford's not back in training yet. And then those who are complaining about the trampoline, look up trampoline and hamstring injuries. Trampolines are actually very good for hamstring injuries. So no problems there. Helps with the strength and conditioning, but he's not going to be back for a couple of weeks. I'd say Bamford's season's over as well. Max Vorber has either fallen out completely with Daniel Farke as well. There's an issue there apparently been put out in the press that there's Farke's looking to move him on in the summer. He's not happy with him. But he's out pretty much until after international break as well. We just hope everybody else has a clean bit of health until then. So yeah. And then Andy, did you hear Neil Warnock's podcast bragging when he was at Palace? Got his men to pour buckets of cold water over the dressing room floor against Jose Mourinho. So it's childish stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's that's Warnock for you.
Warnock, yeah.
Super.
That's the Red Bull stuff was interesting as well. Bragg was asked about Red Bull, and he said that they were brought in as minority shareholders for expertise, but there are no provisions and no options for Red Bull to buy Leeds United from the 49ers. When the 49ers took over Leeds, they did have a provision and an option to buy the club from Andrea Radrizzani, and that's the difference. But he said from a sporting perspective, they're phenomenal at what they do, and Leeds are learning from that, and Leeds can tap into that as well. So it's
Yes.
yeah, everything is very positive. He said that he's got unfinished business in the Premier League, and he said, this is a very interesting line. He said that he never realized he'd fall in love with the club after they inherited a challenging portfolio with a substantial credit card bill. But what's important to him now is sustained success at Leeds United. And he also said earlier on that as well is that he wants Leeds United to be one of the giants of European football again.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that, Stats?
Yeah, look, it's going to take time, isn't it? The first part, get to the ground, get to the Premier League. Then you've got to establish yourself as a Premier League club, and I'm not going to go into all that at the moment because I think that's a show for another day. So, yeah, it's building blocks, bit by bit by bit. Get to the Premier League. Let's see where we are this time next season. Hopefully we're clear from relegation because that is going to be the next task, and take it step by step. Look, we all remember the great Champions League days. I was actually watching the AC Milan and Besiktas games earlier today just to give them a bit of memories and reminiscence before I came on here. But it's going to take a lot to get back to those wonderful days. It can be done. You look at Aston Villa, who's been in the Champions League this season, still in the Champions League. Forest, Brighton, Bournemouth all challenging for European places.
Yeah.
There's got to be patience amongst the fan base. It's not going to happen overnight. The first step, get to the Premier League and then establish yourself as a Premier League team. After that, all fall into place, season by season. But yeah, all I'll say is exciting. Enjoy the ride. And hopefully, come May the 3rd, once the championship season is finished away at home park at Plymouth, Leeds United can come back to Elland Road and enjoy the Premier League party.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Last question, comment from Michael. During a multi-club model, is players' transfers between clubs feasible? JB, Joe Blackburn, today stated that it couldn't happen because Championship and SPL are categorised as the same under the EFL. He is correct. Under the rule book of the EFL, they classify the Scottish Premier League as the same division as the EFL, which is crazy. But that has been broken in the past. There is ways around that. Hibs have proven it. There's stuff has happened there before.
Yeah, there's loopholes.
But yeah, if Leeds Leeds need to go up and just never come back down again. So that has been a potential from it as well. Yeah. So yeah, 3 players out injured at the moment right now. Let's enjoy the walk before we can run is the sensible comment from I'm running, mate. I'm running. I'm sprinting right now. And
I'm cool.
And I am losing the run of myself. And I'm enjoying losing the run of myself. And I'm going to keep enjoying this as long as it goes. So yeah, but I understand the caution. Last season, I was the one going, everyone needs to calm down. Which is a long way to go. At this season, like, no.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this. We have more connections than Rangers over the years than people realise. I mean, between players, European games. Some of the most memorable nights are against Rangers in Europe, and Davy Robertson played for Leeds as well. So Mark Haley played for Leeds. So
he did.
Yeah. So plenty of. I like Dave Robertson actually. Obviously, I would have more affiliation towards Celtic than Rangers, but Davy Robertson was a player that I quite liked, and I did date a Rangers fan from Scotland for a while.
Oh, there you go then.
It was an interesting point in my life when I was over there, put it that way. But it was still very nice people, so no, I never had a problem. So yeah, all good. Jerry, you weren't running during the week. I wasn't, but I am now. Yes. I'm gonna keep going. I just want to enjoy this. That's all I want to do is enjoy this for the remainder of the season. There's been so much misery all year that Mark Viduka could play for Celtic as well. Yeah. There's a couple there as well. The couple players at Celtic right now I wouldn't mind next season. Rio Hatate is one of them as well, but we've been linked to Kuhn from them as well. So yeah. Anyway, look, we're waffling here, we're rambling on. Stats, anything you want to leave us with before we wrap up tonight?
Yeah, Leeds won 3-0 at the weekend. Job done. Simple as that.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Let's keep the train going. Jer has to run these days playing football himself. I can barely move on the football pitch now, to be honest with you. The first game I played, it didn't go well. But yeah, can we buy Bamford out of his last 12 months? That'll probably be discussion at the end of the season. I would be shocked if it's not how it isn't happening this season. And bring down the Japan and Korea players that they have. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's one gone to Rennes, which was Kyogo for Shawi.
Yeah,
what a finisher! I would have loved him, and a buzzsaw of a player just zips around the place. But he's gone to Rennes. But yeah, anyway, folks, big love. Thanks very much for joining us tonight, and we will see you in the morning for the news, and then Saturday's a funny one. There'll probably be a watch along over on bigup.com. You can check that out if you want. If you want to buy the merch, there's a link down below. I'm actually going to go away on Saturday because my wife is having her mates over, and I'm just going to go home to Mam's for the week and show me wedding photographs that we got during the week. So we're going to do all that, and then so I don't know if I'm going to have a game out or not, but I'll let you know before Saturday morning. If I have to bring Kate with me, it might be a bit more tricky, but I'll let you know before Saturday. Anyway, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. Talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.